right, Cannonball Nation, just about 2.5 minutes to go, and we're going live with this one. I'm Chris, your engineer, 50 floors below the street level, getting ready to launch another episode of the Cannonball Chronicles. Get ready, get something to drink and kick back, and it'll be a great show tonight. We're just waiting for social media to fill up. Lots of good people in the house already. Cannonball Nation coming at you. Hold on. Chris Summer Simmons in the house. What's up, Chris? Scott Bird, Draco's Biker Images, my cell phone, Chopper Town, all the Chopper Town Nations here tonight. Thank you, John Bug Killer Baker. What's up, John? Just hitting the 1 minute mark now. We're going to be going live in just a second. Share this. Remember to hit the share button, the like button, so you know when we go live with these programs. Down to the last 10 seconds. We're going to pull this one out of the station and get started with another episode of Cannonball Chronicles. Here we go.
Hey there, Cannonball Nation. It's Jason Sims coming back to you again from the Motorcycle Cannonball offices. It's, I think, our 5th episode now of the Cannonball Chronicles. Thanks for everybody that's tuning in. It looks like we've got a ton of people on social media already, on Facebook and YouTube. You know, I'm glad that everybody's here. Make sure that you guys get that out there. Share it, like it, comment. Be interactive with us tonight. We have one of probably the best shows coming up tonight. We have a lot of things to go over. These guests are going to just be killer. Anyway, I want to get into it right now because we need every single second that we can get. So I'm going to bring in my co-host, Mr. Robbie Nussbaum from Retro Psycho. What's up, Robbie?
Hey, how you doing? Show 5, Jason.
Show 5,
man.
Man, it feels
Here
like
we
we've been doing
I
this
just
for
yanked the camera
25
off
years
the
already.
Oh, yeah, we're old pros. We're old pros.
I mean,
hey, everybody,
time goes fast when you're having fun.
Oh, having fun. What kind of week did you have?
It's been flipping crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, just
nuts,
running
right?
nonstop. Yeah. So I'm back in Utah right now. I spent the last 4 or 5 days in Sturgis, South Dakota, getting ready to prepare for the upcoming Sturgis rally. Working on some stuff for Cannonball, and it's just been a really, really crazy time. So My week's been a little bit somber just because I've had some technology issues with my computer, my phone, my email, everything. I mean, it feels like I'm going back to the 1900s, so which isn't a bad thing, you know, to disconnect yourself from some of this stuff.
Yeah, off the grid, so to speak, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think everybody's had, we even had some technical difficulties tonight getting ready, but here we are. We finally got the show on the air, which is great. We're learning. It's a new cutting edge technology. Chris and Missy, who are on the board, and Heather and everybody behind the scenes, Marge, doing a great job, trying to make this show the best it can be. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it out there. Make sure you make comments tonight. We're going to go to social media about halfway through the show, and we're going to address some questions. So if you have questions, tell us what you got. Give us the numbers of your Cannonball bikes and what years you participated, and we'll come back to you later on.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you're not a Cannonball rider, shout out to where you're tuning in from, how you know about the Cannonball, where you're going to see us this year, so on and so forth. So this week we've been putting some great information out online on Facebook and on the website. Almost every daily we're putting some kind of new information out there for you guys where you can catch up with us this September. Just yesterday we announced a really great stop, Myrtle Beach, Harley Davidson in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They're going to roll out the red carpet for us and show us a good time there when we hit the East Coast, and we'll be right there on the ocean.
So for those people who are neophytes who are not familiar with the Cannonball, in 10 seconds, Jason, tell me what the Cannonball is.
yeah,
and what the route is this year. 10 seconds, go.
Motorcycle Cannonball, hardest endurance ride in the world, man versus machine, cross country on antique motorcycles. This year, pre-1930, going from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to South Padre Island, Texas.
So how many miles did you say?
It's going to be roughly 4,000 miles or so, give or take a couple hundred miles.
On pre-1930 motorcycles.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like, so I didn't know that. I had two Cannonballers here this week.
Today. No kidding.
Yeah, Bill Nugent from Woodstock Harley came in. He was in 2010.
Original Cannonballer.
Yeah, one of the originals. Yep. He came in and we had to do a little tune-up on his carburetor and got him out of here, and he left this engine here for me to take care of and get that running again.
Oh, nice.
And another visitor from far away who I don't want to mention his name on the air, but we're doing an engine swap for him. So today was actually a pretty busy day, and then I had to set up my shot and get all nervous and all kinds of shit like that for the show.
So we get back to Nugent. I mean, do we got to call him out that, hey, are we going to see him on another Cannonball or what?
Well, I
think
nice
to get some of these original guys back.
I think maybe those viewers out there should call Nugent and tell him those previous Cannonballers who know Bill, call him up and bug him. Tell him to get on the Cannonball.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So, and then I had my own BS this week, which is insurance and bookkeeping and, all that business shit that people don't like to take care of. So,
but
sucks. It's good to be here doing this. Yeah. It's good to be doing this, and it was good to get my hands back on the bike today and work on that for a little bit. Wednesday's my day off, but those who own a business know there's no such thing as a day off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was in the same boat. I've been doing some wrenching myself. I got more, I guess you could say, walking. For those of the people that follow me on Instagram and Facebook, know what kind of troubles I had this weekend with, gas or a lack of gas. It seemed like every bike I took out this weekend, I ended up walking home because my dumbass was so happy that, just to get on the thing and get it started and get going that, I just lacked to take a look at what was in the fuel tank and,
Well, I heard you tried to blame Cole. Cole's on here, so he's going to fill in our social media people on what happened. He posted a video.
Yeah, absolutely.
A how-to video.
A how-to video to make sure your bike has gas. I mean, shoot, when I take a bike, Cole delivered me this beautiful knucklehead this weekend that he'd been working on. And, when I take somebody a bike, I make sure that it has a full tank of gas, because I know they're just going to get on it and want to ride, and I don't want to, and here, shit, I got about maybe 1 mile, 1.5 mile away and, thinking, God dang, man. But,
so I got a call out to guests too. This is for all you people watching on social media who are Cannonballers. Let us know if you want to be on the show. We have a list of people, but if you want to be on the show, let us know. And,
absolutely.
I think either Chris or Heather can maybe pop something up on screen later on and let you guys know how to contact us somehow. You all know how to get a hold of Jason. So why don't you bug him when his phone starts working again?
Yeah. There you go.
And
did I tell you I'm going to Verizon tomorrow and getting a new number?
A new number. Yes, that's a good idea. Get me one while you're at it, would you?
1-800-RETROCYCLE.
Yeah, go ahead and call that. That won't work. So this is show number 5. Cycle Source has a bunch of other shows that I guess Chris will be running a promo later on for them on the Source Media Network. And if you're into motorcycles, this is the place to stay tuned. On Motorcycle Cannonball page, on the Retro Cycle page, on the Antique Motorsports Hobbyist Network page, AMHN, Chopper Town. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So take a look. Enjoy the shows. We got a lot of stuff coming up for you, and we have more shows in the works. So we're building a motorcycle network for you guys out there.
Absolutely.
So with that, I think we have a segment called A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words with Michael Lichter. What do you think? Should we bring him in?
Let's do it. Hey, Michael, what's happening, man?
Hey,
Michael
Jason.
Lichter!
Hey there. How you doing, Rob? We all set
How
for
you
another
doing,
week
Michael?
here.
Another week.
Another week.
How was your week? Did you have technical difficulties this week? It seems like everybody did.
Not too many. Things are moving along. We have a new printer. We're cranking some prints out. Actually, we made a lot of changes to my Sturgis exhibition that we'll be announcing, I believe, on Sunday on Shop Talk. But everything's moving along great. No complaints.
Excellent. So what do you got for us tonight?
Tonight, I got a picture of Vern Akers, and this was taken on the 2016 Cannonball. He's riding his 1914 Henderson, so it was 102 years old when he was riding it, and we happened to be in Dodge City, Kansas. That was the rest day for the Cannonball, and of course, most people are working on their bikes, and if they're not working on them, they are probably resting. But I did rustle a few people because it's not often that I get people to get out at sunset on the Cannonball. Everybody, you're out early at sunrise and oftentimes before the sun comes up. And when that beautiful hour of light comes in the afternoon, most people are already at the bar drinking or most likely working on their bikes. Sleeping, exactly. But I did get a few people to come out. I had like 2 or 3 people, maybe only 2, ride with me. And this happened to be Vern Akers. It's a bike that was built. Jason, help me out here. Mark, I guess, right? Mark Hill.
Yeah, from Fourth Coast Force.
Yeah, so he's part of that team. And as you told me before we went on, that it was owned by Evan Coons. Am I saying that correctly?
I believe so, yeah.
Evan Coons from the East Coast, who goes on the Cannonball but doesn't ride. So he owns this bike. And Vern was the great recipient as to be a pilot on this. But I picked this shot because in this time of the COVID shutdown, or we're coming out of it, but there's been a lot of contrast, I think, to remembering times when there's been just thousands of bikes on the road. And on my social media, I've been posting some pictures like that, where there have been so many people in the photos to remember those times. But this is more probably what it's like now, and often what it's like on the Cannonball, that you're out there by yourself or with a couple of teammates. And I happen to like this. I don't overly set up shots. I mean, it's set up in the sense that I asked him to come out riding with me, and we didn't even know where to go. We just went out riding down some road. Somebody said, "Oh, there's a nice road down there," and we go and I think we're on our way back at this point. And I like the shot. Just it's a feedlot that we're next to, and you could see the cows go off in the distance on both the left and right sides, and it appeals to me. I love how the cows are backlit with the sun, and you have those rays coming through their legs. I mean, the shadows come almost from the cows right to the fence line. I mean, it's really cool. And then you have the towers on the left side there with the grain in them, some trees on the right. And I'm big about edges. So to me, I like the edge detail, that there's interest all the way to the edges. In the right side of the frame, you can see there's cows right to the edge of the frame. And it's to me, it's very full. But I like his look. His beard is so incredibly sharp. The picture is another one of my slower exposures. You can see the grass is all blurry. The road is like water. It's very blurry. There's no spokes, and he's floating down the road, which I think oftentimes in a Henderson, it's probably what it feels like. They're so smooth, and they sound so smooth as well. But it's very reflective. I love the light on the side of his body there, the shirt and the backlight. There's on the edge, there's a rim.
Hey, so this is Chris in the studio, and it looks like we had a problem with our rendezvous connection and lost our host for a minute. But I'm going to talk here while the switchboard lights back up and we try to get them back on. Beautiful, beautiful image from Michael Lichter. This is one of the greatest things about the Cannonball is the moment in time that's captured. We talked about this with Michael early on, getting him to do this segment, and it's really just been a killer opportunity to spend time with Michael and have him explain where he was at in the moment he captured a lot of these images. So we really appreciate Michael being on, and I think with that, for 2 seconds, we're going to take a quick break, try to get ourselves sorted out over here, and we'll be right back with some more Cannonball Chronicles. There you go, Michael. We got you back.
How far do we back up here, guys?
Just really, it was just a couple seconds before you guys realized I was gone. So you were talking about.
I was watching on YouTube, and it looked black for a while there to me.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about the light and the shirt, and that's where we were at.
Should I continue with that then? Sort of.
Yes, please.
All right. Are we live? I'm not getting.
Yeah,
Test?
we're live. You just got a delay. We're live. You can't watch.
Okay, guys, I guess we're back on after that technical difficulty. But I was told that I was talking about. There you go. I was told that I was talking about the light in the photograph, and so I think I'll go back to that. Does that sound all right, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just have a quick question about that light.
Yes.
Is that what you call magic hour shot?
To me, that's magic hour. And as I was saying earlier, that I don't get many shots like this in the late afternoon, early evening, because the cannonballers are do not want to be out on the road at this point. They want to be in. They want to have the bikes being worked on by them or their mechanics, or they want to be having a beer or resting. So I did ask Vern to come out, as I mentioned, and we went for a little ride. And this was just, it's luck of the draw. And I often say that serendipity is so much a part of my photographs. So I was talking about the light, and I will say it's magic hour. The light that's on his face that's coming, it's like what I'd call a rim light or almost backlight.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the cows with the long shadows, and that light is hitting the edge of his arm and the side of his face, and doesn't look very sharp here, but I will tell you, you could count the hairs in his beard. This thing's so sharp, despite it being a very slow exposure. It is crystal sharp, I will tell you that. And it just makes me, as I look at this, especially when I look at an enlargement of it, kind of focus in on him and his face and how it looks like he's deep in thought and just off in his own world, as we often are when we're out riding by ourselves these days in COVID lockdown, or being on the Cannonball, where so many riders, you're in small groups and oftentimes by yourself, you're out there.
Right. All right. I'd like to just ask, I mean, I've never, just ask Vern, like, what are you thinking about them cows,
Yeah.
He may be thinking
about
bigger
steak
things
dinner
than
for
cows.
tonight.
I don't know. He could be stuck on it because it probably doesn't smell. It's not like we're going by a rose farm.
Right.
You know what I like about this picture, Michael, is that it kind of speaks to the spirit of the Cannonball as well as the composition of the shot. He's taking in the countryside. The way he's looking is like he's taking in the surroundings that he's part of.
And that's very nice, because so often on the Cannonball, you're stuck in your ride sheets. I mean, you miss something. You are really looking down at that ride sheet all the time. I can't tell you how many photographs I have with eyes. They look like they're closed, because if you're looking down like this,
right,
it looks like your eyes are closed. So they're often looking at their ride sheets. They're looking at the road for obstacles and obstructions in front of them. So it's really nice when things are running so smooth that you could just say, wow, take it all in. It is beautiful out here, as so much of the country is.
Absolutely.
So we have, we should maybe get some questions from this to answer on social media later, and maybe come back to it for a minute or two and answer those questions. If anybody has any questions for Michael, make sure you put them in the chat box.
I'll stick
Make
around.
sure you hit. Yeah. So, well, that's the plan for tonight. Michael is going to stay with us and be part of the host compliment tonight. And I think it might be time to bring in our first guest. What do you think, Jason?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right.
Hey, it's Jody.
Jody,
Hi, guys.
number 79, Cannonballer number 79. There she is. How you doing, Jody?
Good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're okay. Jason?
Fantastic on this end in Colorado.
So what have you been up to, Jody?
Just kind of getting my 2020 Cannonball bike ready. Bob is actually kind of pulling his hair out, trying to make things work and trying to teach me at the same time. But I think it's a matter of I got to let him do it and then teach me. But we'll get there.
Well, I was like, I wonder if she's working on this thing at all, because I follow you on Instagram and the other social media platforms, and it sure seems like all you do is do some fishing.
I definitely do fishing.
I love it.
Oh, did you ride your motorcycle this weekend? I'm like, no, I'm around motorcycles 24/7. On my weekends, I go out out my boat out in the ocean.
There you go. It looks great. It looks great. I wish I was there.
Yeah, but I mean, I also, on the flip side of it, I'm soaking that up because I know we've kind of been at a standstill with the 1912 waiting for pots. So as soon as this stuff starts to come in, I'm going to be, Bob's shadow and trying to soak up as much as I can and learn, as well as try to help him as much as I can.
Right.
Could I
You
chime
know,
in
Tell
for
us-
a moment,
You know
though?
that's coming.
Sure, go ahead.
I
ahead,
think
Michael.
some of the listeners may be confused because Jody is from Massachusetts, of course. And so they may think that she was waiting for pot for the bike, but I think that she meant that she's waiting for parts. So I just want to be sure there's no confusion there. And let me add one other thing that
What a
Jody,
wicked pisser.
one other thing is I would wish that we had a picture of all the viewers that are online right now, because I know that whenever I look at Jody, she makes me smile. And as far as I can tell, when I'm out taking pictures, anyone around her is always smiling. So it'd be a great shot to see all the people watching right now.
You think everyone's smiling right now?
I do. I think you're making everybody smile.
I hope so.
I'm
Hey,
sure.
if I can just make 5 people smile that don't normally smile, that's a bonus.
It's a good
There
day.
you go.
Jody, what are you riding this year in the Cannonball?
So I am riding, Doug Feinsod is letting me ride his 1912 Holly single speed, single cylinder motorcycle. So I'm going to be joining the singles club and gonna ride the whole way. I mean, I'm pretty determined, as well as I have, you know, some good people behind me, and Doug is even more determined than I am.
He did make a mention last week that he
I was just
he
gonna
said it
say
right
that.
here on the show first that, you know, that you're the winner this year.
Yeah, he declared
So
you
I
the
don't like
winner,
to say
Jody.
that stuff. I am going to try my hardest, and I'm going to put every bit of effort I possibly can into it. And I mean, already I'm trying to soak up as much as I can, but I can at least say that I'm going to put every effort into it. And if I come out a winner, if I come out finishing all the miles, in my mind, that's a winner. So
Absolutely.
That's
That's what
my
the
main-
Cannonball's about. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the Cannonball's not man versus man, it's man versus machine, and that's what the
woman.
Cannonball was putting together, or woman.
ah, thanks, Rob.
I worked. Chris Summer Simmons made me her slave driver on the last one, so I've learned my lesson.
Yeah, well,
So-
she needed to be. She needed to be to keep you in line, Rob.
Well, you know me, I'll disappear at a moment's notice, right?
Right.
Yeah, you'd be out wandering around picking on pot somebody else's bike. What you could do better on it?
Jody, say it again. What year and what model?
A 1912 Harley Davidson single.
1912. 1912. For those
So,
people not
108-year-old
listening out there,
was that?
1912 single cylinder, right?
Correct.
Do we have a picture of that bike? Did anybody supply a picture?
Yeah, we got
What it looks
we got a
like right
bunch of
now,
pictures going
where
up on
you're
the
at?
roll right now.
So, that's
So,
just the
what did you
Cannonball
ride in
thing.
the last Cannonball, Jody?
So as it's going through the
Um,
picture roll here, what are you doing personally to get involved with this year, to get prepared?
So personally, this coronavirus has really thrown me off as far as being physical. I was taking spin class 3 days a week, you know, learning to pedal a bicycle until I can't possibly pedal anymore, as well as just taking some, you know, high intensity training classes with my trainer, Courtney. And with the corona, it's just been killing me. But fortunately, you know, I was able to do classes with Zoom and stuff, because I feel like a big part of it is going to be the endurance and being able to pedal, as well as just having long days. And I know we're going to hit some serious heat. So the heat is definitely going to wear us out. But I think the adrenaline of it, and I know from our other rides, like the Chase, it was so hot on the Chase. I mean, it was like every day we
It
were
was
just
brutal.
sweating. Yeah, I mean, you know, Jason. I mean, you and I riding in our full face helmets
Right.
every day. It was hot and it wears you out. So I know I gotta prepare for that as well.
Right.
So me physically, I'm trying to do that while the bike is kind of at a standstill. And you know, once we start to get more parts for it, I can, start to learn more of the mechanics of it. But in the meantime, I'm definitely like reading different brochures and manuals and stuff like that to, learn the different ways that it runs and what the components are. And another thing too is learning how to ride it. I am itching to get on that bike.
Right. Well, a lot of people don't know that particular bike, the single cylinder, single speed, unlike other motorcycles that you actually have to pedal to start the thing. You even have to pedal to get some forward motion on it before you can really engage the clutch and the pulley on the belt system on it. So, I mean, it is a physical bike, and it's not made to go up hills and in different terrains. So it's basically an antique bicycle with a motor on it for assistance. So, just seeing that, will be a tough physical challenge for sure.
Yeah. And people are thinking like, going uphill, I'm obviously going to have to pedal. And I think personally I can do it, but then I'm thinking about going the downhill. It's, minimal brakes.
Right.
The front brake pretty much doesn't exist. And it's just, a coaster brake with pushing the pedals backwards, just like on a bicycle.
Right.
So, if I'm going fast, which those bikes don't go fast to begin with, so they're a little rickety.
Right.
So downhill might be just as much of a challenge as uphill. That's not really something people are thinking about, but it's definitely on my mind.
Well, it'll definitely be fun to see, one of the fastest girls in the world ride one of the slowest motorcycles in the world, from going from one extreme to the other, So, I mean, so a lot of us, that'll be fun to see.
Those of you who don't know Jody, tell us about a little bit of your motorcycle heritage and some of your accomplishments, if you could.
Okay, Jason, I'm glad you brought up the horsepower thing because people have said that to me often, especially in the last let's say month. But so I have in 2011, my father and I decided to go out to the Bonneville Salt Flats and land speed race. So we built a motorcycle. We got some really good people behind us, and I was able to break a record as being the first female on an American motorcycle to go over 200 miles an hour.
Wow.
And since then, I've set several land speed records, which I currently hold 16. And I did actually hold 17, but Jake Allen actually took one of my records just recently, which I have no problem with whatsoever because he's one of my mentors for the Salt Flats. And my top speed out on the Salt so far was 208 miles an hour on an American V-twin that we built. It was a 120 cubic inch. It's a combination between R&R and Jim's motor that was built by Dan Thayer and a Baker 5-speed transmission. It was partial streamlined, and that bike got about 315 horsepower. So like Jason said, I'm going from 315 horsepower to about 4, maybe. So
if we're lucky,
it's definitely a big difference.
And I understand you were in the Sons of Speed, right?
Yes. So that was going to be, I was going to say that next, but so I also raced at the Sons of Speed races, which is Billy Lane's races that is circle track on a paved and banked track with no brakes and no gears. So I ride a 1919 Harley, a 1920 Indian, and a 45. So in October 2018, I actually took home the checkered flag. So it's pretty cool to win one of Billy Lane's Sons of Speed races. And then, of course, I did the 2018 Cannonball and the 2019 Chase. So that bike right there.
Last fall?
Yes, in the fall. And then that's my buddy, Tom Banks, right there riding with us. And obviously my dad and I, which my dad is 100% behind me on everything I do. And if he wasn't, I don't think I'd do it. And that's our team for the Cannonball. And the guy in the white shirt is Bob, who is my mentor for the Cannonball, along with Chris Simmons. He's also my mentor.
Excellent.
Oh, that's great. Well, you mentioned your dad. I'm wondering if maybe we can get him to come on with us at some point.
Yeah.
You think we could talk him into it? Think we could talk him into it, Jody?
Yeah, he definitely will get on.
So,
Oh, there he,
there he is.
What? Hey,
Hey,
Dave,
guys.
what's happening?
Hey,
I'm
Dave.
just sitting here watching it all.
Yeah, you must be a proud papa right now, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of people have asked me, what is the proudest moment that I've had with Jody, and I'd have to say in Bonneville when she went 200, and nobody thought we could do it. We were total rookies, and we just had a really good team with the best people that there is out there, and we went 200 the first year out, so that was pretty cool. And then of course the second most favorite will be when Jody receives the Motorcycle Hall of Fame award, which she's going to in Sturgis this year.
Yeah, how about that, man? We all owe
That's
you guys
awesome.
a big congratulations for that.
fantastic.
That is
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. It's definitely an honor. My father and I are the first father-daughter duo to be in the Hall of Fame, as well as.
Awesome. Oh,
So, Dave, I think I met
This is
you
the
like
night.
25 years ago. I don't know how old Jody was then. I don't know.
Yeah,
if we wanna
right.
Go there. But
Yeah.
tell me how Jody becomes involved with antique bikes, with your background being a legendary chopper builder and painter. How's that
Well,
happen?
Actually, what happened was she was asked to ride for Curtis Venerable. Curtis came up to me in Daytona one year and said, "Hey, would you mind if I have a bike built for Jody to ride in the Billy Lane Sons of Speed?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay with that. You got to ask her." So Curtis asked Jody, and Jody said, "Sure." So Curtis had a couple bikes built, and Jody started racing for Curtis in the Sons of Speed. And there was a JD at the track, and we were looking at it, and Jody said, "Boy, wouldn't it be cool if I could do the Cannonball on an old JD?" And I said, "Well, you probably can." And Jody talked to Curtis about it, and Curtis said, "Yeah, let's do it." And Curtis bought a kind of a junk JD, and we redid it from top to bottom with the help of Bob Gamache and several other people, Dave Nault, and that was her first Cannonball bike.
That's great. So Jody,
And it was a sweet bike. That was a good bike too.
yeah. So 2018 being the first Cannonball, share some 2018 Cannonball memories with us real quick.
So here's a good story. So first off, Rob built my motor on the Cannonball bike, and that bike ran like a champ. I literally had no problems with it the whole entire way. It didn't skip a beat. So definitely big props to Retro Cycle for building a
Thanks,
great motor
Jody.
for that bike. But so in the beginning of the Cannonball, I was kind of like, I don't want to say by myself, but I knew guys to a point, but I wasn't in you guys' antique clique, so to speak. And
Circle.
there's definitely people had their own opinions of me, knowing that I've been in the industry, my whole life. My dad, he is who he is, and whatnot. And about maybe a third of the way through, I noticed that this guy kept riding beside me, kept riding with me. And then we'd stop and, we'd kind of make small talk and whatnot. And then he'd say, he commented on my exhaust. He's like, "Man, that exhaust sounds really good. That motor sounds really good." And I was like, "Oh, Bob made it," because he did. And, Rob built my motor, whatever. So then, a day or two later, he said, we kind of became friends and whatnot. And he was like, knowing that I was kind of riding by myself, or with people, like I rode with Chris and Dave Minerva here and there and stuff. And we just kind of clicked, and we kept riding together. And about 3/4 of the way through, he says to me, "I really like you, and I told everybody, I actually made a bet that I wasn't going to like you, that you were going to be a snob, and that everybody was going to work on your bike for you, and you weren't going to know anything, and you were going to go into the hotel room at night, and, and that you really didn't know how to ride. And, you've really proven me wrong. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect that at all. I am definitely hands-on. I try to soak up as much as I can and learn as much as I can. And, here we go, 2 years later, and that person was Doug Feinsod, who is now
kidding.
one of my good buddies and is letting me ride his bike on the 2020 Cannonball. So go figure.
Right.
Well,
No, just the friendships and
Doug will not
everything
hold
else that you make on the
back
Cannonball are
too.
great.
So the fact that he even said that to you does not surprise me.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't hold back.
No,
Michael,
he definitely doesn't.
Michael, I have a question for you in this. Now, how long has it been that you've been photographing somebody in the motorcycle industry with the last name Perewitz?
Oh, wow. Well, it must go to the early 80s, but I know that I stayed at their house, and I'm not sure if it was 85 or 88. Jody, what year were you born?
82.
82. It could have been, it may have been 88. So maybe you were 6 years old then, but that's when I stayed at their house. So she was pretty much a baby at the time. But yeah, I have some pictures I found of Dave from the Rendezvous in 84, I think.
The Rendezvous.
Yeah.
Was he, Mike, was he one of those people on the picture that you showed a couple weeks ago that your son liked, of the guys peeping through the holes in the walls and not in the ladies' bathroom?
The ladies' shower room.
Yeah, the shower.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he wasn't there, but he was nearby.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. He was probably in the shower.
He was there that year, and he was very svelte. I'll tell you that too. Pictures in Sturgis over the years as well. So all over. I remember even from the who remembers being in Daytona when the Harley Ride-In show was at the Hilton, which was like, now I don't even think it's a Holiday Inn. It became a Holiday Inn. It was way south Daytona, and they had the Ride-In show there for a while. But anyway, yeah, a long time. Good memories too. A lot of great memories with that family.
Dave's been a good friend to a lot of people in this industry too, and never been one afraid to share his thoughts or memories or anything like that. Dave's been really there for a lot of people.
He shared more than that. He did an amazing flame job on my RevTech Panhead little chopper. It's gorgeous.
Oh, does he paint flames? I didn't know that he painted flames.
Oh yeah, now and again. And I was a beneficiary of those beautiful flames.
So I'm anxious to see what are you going to give us any insight, Jody, tonight of what we're going to see on the 1912 as far as the paint job?
So that is like the $1 million question. That's probably the only thing that Bob Gamache and I fight about. He is very traditional, and obviously I am not. So I keep teasing him that I'm going to paint it pink metal flake.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That would piss off a lot of period people, but I like it. Well, maybe you could compromise, like maybe one side can be pink and one side can be like original paint or something.
Yeah, we can scuff it up and let it rust a little bit.
Right. Now, I'd like to see something non-traditional coming out of that, just because I know your guys' talent there, and and just to see something different. I mean, you see original bikes all the time, but seeing something custom is pretty cool too.
Yeah, and it kind of goes along with my 2018 Cannonball bike. Is I could say, somebody says, "Oh, what are you riding?" And I say, "Oh, I'm riding a JD." And they say, "Oh, which one?" And I say, "The one with the red metal flake." And they're like, "Oh, I know that bike. I remember that one." Versus if I say, "Oh, the green one," it's like, kind of innocent. So if I see it riding the single, which this year I have heard, Jason, there's quite a few singles. What's going to make mine stick out?
Right. Maybe you got to paint it orange and black metal flake and get some money out of Rob here.
Yeah, it could be the retro 12 single.
Are we still here? Because it looks like we're having a little bit of difficulty, but are you still there, Jody?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right. Well, looks like we lost Robbie. It must have pissed him off that I brought that up, but that's all right.
He was
He's
like,
good for it. So what stage is the bike in right now? What are you guys working on?
So Bob is actually making a pocket valve for it. And then once we get that valve made, he's gonna have to like dent the tanks, make an indent in the tanks for the valve to fit so that we can get it in and out obviously as easy as possible. And then it's just like some little things, you know, like we got a rear tire for it from Avon. So they supported us in the 2018 Cannonball. So we're glad to have them on board. They make a great tire. So we got a rear tire for it, as well as some heavy duty tubes. So hopefully I never have to change it, because that is like my worst fear, is having to change the tire on the side of it, which I wouldn't even do it. I'm gonna admit it. I wouldn't even do it. Because that's
so you guys obviously must have went away from the clincher tires and upgraded to a more modern beaded tire on it now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got drop center rims. So yeah, because clinches, just to be honest, I don't even want to take a chance, because that's something that we can change and make better and make safer. Why not?
Right. So a couple questions from Facebook. People want to know, is this bike belt drive or chain drive?
Belt drive.
There you go.
So this belt driven motorcycle. So that's another thing we got to change, is the leather on the pulleys, because we think that it's from 1912.
Oh, the actual leather's still on
the
there,
original leather.
Oh, nice.
Are you going to keep leather, or will it be rubber?
Leather.
Wow. I have a question for Jody. So I run into you all the time on the Cannonball, and you, like you said, you're not very traditional. You have a new way of looking at things. One thing that's real different is a lot of people look very serious going down the road, and you never do. You're just always happy-go-lucky. What's going on in your mind as you go down the road, mile after mile, all the way across this country?
So I find that, you know what, no matter what, like, I soak up the experience, and it's, if I, you know, granted, I've had very good luck, and if something should go wrong, it's like, okay, let's brainstorm and figure out how we can fix this. Let's do what we got to do. And there's some things that are out of your control, so you can't cry over it. But I know that when I'm on the road, no matter what I'm riding, I'm thinking, like, I am so lucky for the opportunities that I get, and the places I get to go, and the things that I get to do, and the motorcycles that I get to ride. That how could you not be smiling the whole way? How could you not be thinking, like, this is so cool? Some people are sitting at a desk right now hating life, hating their job, and even though this isn't really a job, so to speak, because I'm not getting paid, but that's okay. It's life experiences that you can't pay for, you can't buy your way into. So I always soak up the moments, soak up what I'm doing.
Absolutely. So I've got to spend quite a few miles with you on the last cross-country chase, and I know that you have a lot of fun while you're out there riding. One last thing before we kind of go is, I know you like music too. What are you going to have in the iPod for this run?
That's a good question. I'll probably.
I don't think it's going to be Toto, Jason. No Toto. I don't think so.
Everybody should listen to Toto.
Jason and I were swapping music, iTunes playlists on the chase, but I've been listening to a lot of like classics, like Van Morrison stuff, Ray LaMontagne, like a lot of stuff like that. I like that stuff. I'm not really into like so much new stuff, because I feel like it's like repeated. It's all the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Must be the antique motorcycle thing that wore off, and you're listening to the antique music now.
Yeah, my dad likes to listen to that stuff, so I hear it via him. So one last thing. I don't really got a question, but let's
tell the people out there of, maybe give us a little bit of what's coming up with you, where people can see you. Do you have anything out there that can help support you?
Wait a
all
minute,
that
for
kind of
sure.
stuff. Oh, wait.
Talk about they have their own show, Jason. We want to talk about that too, so we can promote that to people that are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I was just
You're on,
I was
Jody.
actually gonna be my thing first to say. On Mondays and Thursdays on the Perewitz Facebook page, my father and I do Chop a History. So it's just conversation about the motorcycle industry and back in the 70s when he used to go to rallies, what they would like, other people in the industry, builders, all kinds of stuff. I mean, we talk about anything and everything. We have guests on it. We had Donnie Smith on it with us this past Monday. And so our show will be tomorrow at noon on the Perewitz Facebook page. So any of you guys can tune into that. And then in Sturgis, we have our Perewitz Paint Show, which will be on Wednesday, August 12th, downtown at the Iron Horse Saloon. So you guys, if any of you guys are in Sturgis, you can come on down to our paint show and either enter your bike or come and check out all the painted bikes that we have there. And we'll also, when we're in Sturgis, we'll be doing our Chopper History show, which is brought to you by India Motorcycles. So give them a shout out.
Nice.
So you guys that aren't in Sturgis, if you want to get a glimpse firsthand live, make sure you tune into our show on Sturgis. And my father and I both are riding out to Sturgis. So we'll try to do as many live feeds as we can throughout our ride. So you guys can definitely tune into the Perewitz Facebook page and, follow along with us.
Is
Perfect.
Dave still with us? Dave, you still
I
there?
am.
I just
I
want to say
am.
it's been a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for coming on. Jody, as always, it's always a pleasure to talk on the phone, on this, whatever. But Dave, thanks a lot. And you got a great kid there. You really do.
Okay, thanks, Rob. Thanks, Jason.
See ya.
See you later.
Wow,
Thanks,
that
guys.
was. How great was that, Rob?
Oh, it's great. Well, I just always enjoy talking with Dave and Jody always brings a smile to your face. And like Michael, like you said, you hardly ever see her with a frown or worried about anything. She's loving life and she's rising to the task,
Living large. It's amazing what she's done and accomplished over the last 5 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, we're going to take a break, go to one of our sponsors, help us
I gotta
support
get
the
a
show
refill.
here. Jason's got to get a refill. Michael, you got your beer this week or what?
I'll go run and get it.
We'll run and get it. So
You gave me hell
we're going
last
to
week
take,
when I did that.
I'm drinking iced tea, but I got something else to spike it with in a little while. But we're going to take a break and we'll come back and we'll answer some viewer questions. So if you haven't asked any questions yet, when we come back, we'll answer them. Get them up there.
Hey, this is Chris from Cycle Source Magazine, and I want to thank you for watching the flagship show of the Source Media Group, Shop Talk. We go live with Shop Talk every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's only one of the many programs we offer from Source Media. In addition to that, Wednesday nights we have Cannonball Chronicles that looks into the life and times of Cannonball racers as they prepare for this year's motorcycle Cannonball. Thursday night, we have Bike Night Live that dives into the culture of bike night, the food, the bikes, and the fun of hanging out with friends, and we even have some live entertainment. Sunday morning, Cyber Swap kicks off where we have a sort of home shopping network approach to motorcycle swap meets, and we bring guys on that have parts to sell live right there. All of this in addition to our staple programs, which are Grease and Gears TV, live on the street from the events and rallies, Grease and Gears Garage, and Grease and Gears Garage Roadshow. We look forward to bringing more of this type of programming to you from the home of Two Wheel Entertainment, the Source Media Group.
We're really excited to be here. We're really excited to have a good time. It's my brother G-Man.
It's obvious to see someone put a lot of money into that bike.
Let's get into this one.
Holy cow. Factory tags. Rarer than hen's teeth, people.
There's a brand new Baker kicker pedal. Go like $75 on that.
I didn't hear the rules yet. George and I have to see if we're allowed to bid.
You are allowed to
Oh, we
bid.
are?
We were wondering
Yeah.
about that.
Hey, we're all at the swap meet, man. I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is an 81 650 special motor.
So this is our big ticket item. Right now, you can just go right up on the screen and start hitting it, start pricing it. We can sell it right here, right now. All you have to do is go ahead and type in a number. You know, they're always hard to find the complete pieces all together that'll go on the police bike. You know, I chased for the 48. You know, in the coming weeks, we're gonna have more and more parts. We want guys to step up. If you have stuff, Suzuki's, Yamahas, bring it all.
Bring
Thanks
the
for
parts
having
flowing.
us.
And we're back. Wow. For all you guys that haven't seen Cyber Swap yet on Sunday mornings, it is excellent. Really good stuff. They've had some really good people on there with no swap meets happening. I was supposed to be on this last week. You guys had a chance to get some of my parts. Since they postponed it, I may have to pull that stuff out the table. I've been having anxiety about selling some stuff. So.
I've been waiting for a chance to nub through your stuff.
You know, playing hard to get doesn't work for you, Jason. I wouldn't pull that one.
But I'm excited. I'll probably be on this Sunday on Cyber Swap. So you guys have
Nice.
a chance to come see some of my stuff, and I'll offer up some good stuff for sale. So
Well, maybe I should come on Cyber Swap on Sunday and talk your stuff down and sell my stuff.
Oh.
that's all right.
Where's boo? There you go.
I don't really want to get rid of the stuff anyway. So
Oh, there we go. Bumping up the price.
hey, there's a reason I
So-
got that stuff.
Yeah, you liked it.
At one time, I did.
Let me ask you a question. Are you ready to answer some viewer questions? Can we go to the studio and have a look at Missy and Heather or whoever's in there? Chris, I don't know if we want to see you, but you're probably there in the chair. There he is. So what do we got, Missy?
All right. So you guys have a lot of Cannonball people in the house tonight. I've been writing them down here real quick so we could say, hey, Tom Banks, Chris Simmons, Mike Brusso, Kim Unra, Dave Courier, Team White Trash, Colin Sheba, Bill Redensel, Mark Tatum, Bob Zoella, Trish Chance, Scott Bird, Vinny Gasser, Richard Campbell, Chris Tribby, Doug Wathke.
Wow.
And we even have a viewer checking in from John Bartman's bar out there in Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
But there's a lot of questions.
I seen Kelly Maudlin popped up on here. We got he's got a really
that's very
cool
cool.
event coming up on
Yep, I do. I
July
see Kelly on there
10th
now.
and 11th. I'll give him a quick little shout out for his event coming up in Augusta, Kansas on July 10th. He's having like a little 130, 150 mile road run. And then on that Saturday on the 11th, they're having a swap meet, bike show, consignment auction, just all kinds of fun there. Great museum at the Twisted Oz there in Kansas. It's free. One of my favorite places to visit. Kelly and the crew there are flipping awesome. Make sure you get out there and support if you can. So.
Okay, well, I've been keeping track of these questions for you
great.
guys.
So what do you got?
First one to pop up was Dale Kerr, and he wants to know what the H stands for on FLH. Was that like a chase question or something?
No, it means help me.
It means that's a Panhead question, and you'll have to tune in when we do the Panhead show.
Yeah, there you go. This is about JDs and Scouts and
Hendersons and Searses and whatever.
And this one wasn't really a question. It was kind of a statement for Michael Lichter. Dave Nichols wants you to play the penny whistle.
Not tonight. That's for sure.
Not tonight. And so I do have some legit questions here for most of these were from when Jody was up. Ashley
Well,
Woodford.
before we do that, just
Uh-huh.
Michael, maybe you should go on Bike Night Live and play the penny whistle.
That would be awesome.
Well, we'll have to
You
think
could be the musical guest.
Rob's going to be our
Oh
musical
my God,
guest
you may
one
lose
week.
all your viewers in just seconds.
Now, I think they would be intrigued.
All right,
Is
so
that
here are
right
the
word?
questions. We're digressing.
So Ashley Woodford's question was for Jody. She wants to know how many miles you get on a tank of fuel. Oh,
Well, since Jody's here, I'll
muted.
not answer.
Hold on.
She gets a tank.
There we go.
Hang on.
She gets as far as until she runs out.
Okay, Jody, I think you're with us. Oh, hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're there.
Okay. Yeah, Jason definitely gave a good answer because every bike is different. Tom Banks and I rode the same
Right.
exact bike on the Chase, and he could make it about 25 miles further than I could. But we are predicting to go about 70 miles, 75 miles on a tank of gas.
Okay, that's pretty far. Yeah. Marge had a question, Shadow. It was, what was it like to transition from the modern world of bike building to racing in the antique world?
That's a good question, Marge. So fortunately, I am very much a chameleon. I can adapt to my surroundings very fast. I can pick things up. And I looked at it like it's all still learning and it's all still two wheels. It doesn't matter how old or fast or new or slow it is. But it's definitely a difference. But because those bikes aren't just the traditional get on and ride and shift with your foot and a hand clutch, that alone, to learn how to ride that was, a distraction in a sense of me realizing how slow I was actually going. But it's also two wheels, so I love it all.
Awesome. You had one marriage proposal, and it wasn't the same one that you had last Sunday. No, it was from cocaine.
Roadside, how many times I got to tell you leave this girl alone?
It wasn't roadside either. It was cocaine. Chris Tribby has been asking all kinds of questions, but I think he's just trying to figure out your strategy so that you aren't a threat to him. And
I don't know. We've been analyzing Chris as well, so
there you go.
And he's definitely got the knowledge and the experience, and this will be I believe the second time on his single. So
he wants to know what brake you're running.
So coaster brake on the rear, and then to be honest, I believe that Doug put a 19. I don't even know, but a Thor. I want to say it's a Thor front brake, but it's so minimal that I'll be able to use it to kind of hold myself in place, but not necessarily when we're going down the road.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And then Keith Cardell wants to know, after the Cannonball, will you be taking that 12 to Bonneville, and how fast will it run?
It might set a record for slowness.
I could maybe race a snail. Turtle. We can make that
Mini
kind of
bike.
race.
We'll put you up against the mini bike, Jody.
Yeah. I don't know though. My mini bike that I have is pretty fast, so
Rips.
it's going to depend on who's riding it.
Is it wicked? Is it wicked fast?
That's wicked pissa.
Yeah.
It's wicked pissa. Hey, listen, there was a question way early on that I want to make sure I bring up. It was actually about finding information about the stops of Cannonball so people can be ready for when they come around. And that was third question into the show. So.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, the best place to find where you can actually officially see us on the run, because we don't share the actual route with everybody. We only share exactly where we're going to be at for the general public to see us. And you can find that on our website, motorcyclecannonball.com. We have a section under there of the route. It's being updated daily right now as we're confirming everything with the hosted stops. From the dealerships to the museums to cities that are hosting us, you'll be able to see. And then when it gets closer to the event, what time and everything that we'll actually be there at the event, so you can come and see us. So lots more updates to come up on that. Keep checking back on that social media. We're putting them out there also on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, so we're running a little late here, so let's get in with our next guest.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one.
This is a great team here we have coming in. So with no further ado, let's bring them in.
And let's bring them in.
And let's bring them in.
Let's try it again.
Let's try it's technical week here on.
Well, hey there, it's Team Doc. What's happening, guys?
Hey, look who it is. So who do you got there with you, Doc?
Well, this is my daughter, Kersten, who, of course, will be doing
Kersten
Cannonball as well. And,
hey, Kersten, how are you?
Hi, doing pretty good. Getting close to my bedtime, though.
Yeah. Tell me about
I
it.
have 3 little boys that'll wake me up early in the morning, so.
Yeah.
And this lady on my left over here is Therese, and now she is my fiance.
Oh, very cool.
Fiance,
very cool.
well, congratulations. You sure you know what you're getting into,
Yes.
Therese?
Well, that's hard to say, but yeah, I do. I think I know what I'm getting into, but this Cannonball thing will be all new to me, but I'm very excited about it.
Oh,
Can I recommend some of this Doc's Cannonball moonshine, perhaps, to help you through?
He's got some.
Oh, I've
We are
got
making
some.
a new batch for 2020. We're getting a new batch with a new label and all new text on it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And we will have the distiller take some right off the top, which is about close to 200 proof. We can actually run the motorcycle on that, on the steep
Holy.
Oh, so you're gonna maybe one of these Cannonballs you'll run exclusively on moonshine?
That would be fun, yeah.
That would be a test.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure Doc could
Everybody
do it.
be
I
wanting
mean,
to be
he
behind
kind
me
of comes
smelling
up with
the exhaust.
everything. And he could do it. Some of the machines that he's built are unbelievable.
Right.
Just seeing some of the contraption that he's come up with. The one that you see above his head there in the picture, the timeline machine, unbelievable piece of engineering. You know, I'm sure he could build something on moonshine and it would last. But, you know, I'd hate to hear that thing. I've rode, you know, a few miles behind Doc on his Cannonball bike, and it is the loudest freaking bike I've ever been behind. That thing is obnoxious. I mean, I don't know. You know, Kersten, she spent the whole entire Cannonball behind Doc last year, and I don't know how she did it.
Well, Kersten said what a lot. I remember I'd see her at the end of the day and I'd say, Kersten, and I'd ask her a question and she'd say, what? So tell us what you guys are riding. What are we riding this year? And do we have photographs to back that up?
Well, I'm actually taking the same 1916 Harley J model with the wicker sidecar that Therese will be riding in, just like Moses going down the Nile.
Moses in the Nile, okay.
In the basket. Well, he rode down the Nile in a basket, you know, when he was a baby.
There you go.
And Kersten will be driving a 1922 J model as well.
Excellent.
1922. Now, is that the same bike she rode on the last one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Kersten, tell us about your experience, your first Cannonball experience.
Well, my first Cannonball experience was in 2016 when I helped out with the promotion and also with crewing for the 2016 Cannonball when my dad and Ron did it together. And then in 2018, I got to ride the 1922 and completed every single mile and finished with a perfect score. and also placed first in Division 2 for Class 3.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of riding was your experience before getting on these antique bikes?
Well, I've never ridden a motorcycle before in my life, actually. No, just kidding.
I was going to go, what?
No, I started riding pretty young as a 7, 8-year-old kid on mini bikes and stuff, and rode my first big twin when I was 14 years old. Started drag racing Nitro Harleys at 16 years old. I was actually
Wait,
licensed.
say that again. You did what?
At 16, I was licensed as the youngest Nitro Harley pilot in the world. So it was the 120 cubic inch carbureted Nitro bike, high gear only. Started that at 16 years old and been doing it ever since.
Wow, I knew you were young, but I didn't realize you were that young.
Yeah, I didn't realize 16.
Well, I would have done it earlier, but they wouldn't let me until I had a driver's license for a car. So I had to wait till I had my driver's license for a car. But I actually had my competition license for the drag strip to ride a Nitro bike on the drag strip before I had my street license to ride a motorcycle on the street.
Now you're still drag racing, right?
Yeah, we're actually planning on possibly racing in Humboldt, Iowa, 4th of July weekend, and then we'll put on our own local drag race in Kaukauna the following weekend, July 12th, and then also planning on racing out in Sturgis this year. That'll be August 10th, I believe, 9th and 10th. Normally we would go to Bowling Green, Kentucky in September to drag race, but this year we'll be busy doing Cannonball in September. So.
As well you should be. Right, Jason?
Exactly.
Yes.
Doc, what are some of your favorite memories from the Cannonball? Some specific things that stand out to you?
Well, I recall one morning we got up and got ready to get up to the line, and I put Kersten in the sidecar to go for just a little warm-up lap in the parking lot, and I touched the rear brake and it locked up and twisted the whole rear wheel up and bent the frame and tore the fender struts loose, ripped up the whole side of the frame, and we had to be on the line in 45 minutes. So we lifted the motorcycle up and carried it over to the vehicle, and we got out the torches and straightened out the frame and bent everything back and took the rear brake right off, front brake all day, and got the thing up just in time to leave on time. It ran all day with just the front brake on it, but wow, that was a pretty touch and go thing there. Yeah, pretty exciting. Yeah, amongst other things.
And that's a favorite. That's a favorite. That's one of your favorite memories, huh?
Well, it was one of those. Yeah, just one of those that's really stick in your mind. You know, favorite memories are just, you know, it's just such a wonderful experience driving these old motorcycles all that distance and all on back roads. It's so beautiful. Most of it is just gorgeous, you know, and it's just a wonderful experience, you know, that not many people get to do. Right.
And then you've had some really good luck doing it. I think you, if memory serves me correct, that you were, I think, the first person to break the sidecar code of being able to make every single mile of the Cannonball with a sidecar with a passenger on it.
Yeah, when we first signed up in 16 for that, they told them we were going to do it with the sidecar, and they said, gee, don't waste your time or ours. It's been tried before. You're never going to make it up the hills, and if you're on our sweep truck more than 3 times, we're kicking you out because you take up more room with your sidecar. And it's like, okay, well, we're doing it anyway. But I was never on the sweep truck once, and so
I'd like to know what the difference was. What because I remember we had a wicker sidecar from Australia that came in, and then another one from Arizona, and they had lots of problems. Going up the hills was really tough on all those guys. So what changed? What did you figure out?
Well,
40 years of drag racing experience.
Yeah, I've drag raced Nitro Harleys now for 45 years, And in 1994, I've set a world record with one of my top fuel Harleys that held for 3 years. At any rate, you learn how to build some horsepower into a Harley with all this experience. So I've kicked the old girl up a little bit, you know.
Well,
Did you say you kicked the old girl out to get up the hill, or you kicked the?
Better not be me.
Make her push.
Well,
Therese, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
maybe on this note, Doc, can you tell people about your mobile shop? Because I was fascinated with watching you work in there and other people coming in and helping, or you helping other people. But your shop on the road beats most people's at home.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Can you tell us about that?
Bringing up tools and equipment, you know, if I don't need it, I'm sure someone else will. You know, we had aluminum welders and all different boring bar, all different equipment that you need, truing stands. You never know what you're going to run into out on the road there with these old bikes. So I figured if I don't need it, someone else probably will. So, and sure enough, a lot of them did.
And giving up and quitting is not in our DNA either. So
Yeah.
Right.
What was the most intense project of the trip in terms of having to repair something in your shop? What was the biggest or most challenging piece?
Well, in the 2018, the day before Sturgis, we were pushing the bike pretty hard, and it built some carbon up. I don't have a lot of piston to head clearance, and it carboned up enough that it carbon packed the top of the piston and crushed the ringland and then scorched the piston. So I limped it through the rest of the day before Sturgis, and then that day we had to, at Sturgis, we had to take the engine out and bore the cylinder. Competition Cycle was good enough to do the boring for us, but we really didn't get our parts till about 11 o'clock that night. And the next morning, we had to be racing the next morning, and we had to put the bike all together yet during the evening and get it ready. So, but we did accomplish it. We got it done. It was quite an engineering feat, but we got her done.
Jason, you got anything? We're all trying not to step on each other.
No, I'm in such a trance just listening to the stories. I mean, it's the stories like that of doing a complete motor rebuild or, you know, a complete overhaul in the parking lot, you know, no regular shop, no nothing, and watching these riders kind of put these things together. And I mean, that's really what makes life-changing, you know, impressions on people, you know, not just the riders, but also the general public. And, you know, seeing teams like this is unbelievable.
There's a rumor out there that Doc's operation in Bonduel, Wisconsin is very unusual. I'm wondering if there's any truth to that rumor, Doc.
Well, at our billboard sign, it says "like no other." We have 72 acres here. We have museums full of 60s muscle cars and antique motorcycles, woolly mammoth tusks, megalodon shark teeth, Harry Houdini signatures, Aerosmith guitars. We have 128 animal zoo here with birds and snakes and tortoises and iguanas and alligators and buffaloes.
Whoa, slow down, Doc. Hold on, you're going too fast. Did you say you have a zoo?
Yeah. Yeah, I love animals. This whole place is really kind of a culmination of everything I love and enjoy. I also love cooking, so we have a barbecue house on site that I brought all my homemade recipes to. I made my own rib cooking machine in the back. It weighs 5,000 pounds. Only burns apple wood and charcoal, and it has a stainless steel water box, which keeps the moisture content in while you cook the ribs. You know, we have a new entity now that we just got going this spring. It's called Jackass Flats. And, now this is a therapeutic donkey experience that you can come to the Harley shop, and while you're waiting for your motorcycle, you can stroll down to the far end of the property and go into this little Jed Clampett style building. Very old looking, rough sawn wood. hillbilly stained glass windows and old antiques and stuff. But you go in the building, and it's surrounded by about 4 acres of field, and there's donkeys in the field. So when you go into the building, the windows open up, and the donkeys stick their head in the window, and you feed them treats. And there's also musical instruments in the building.
So you got who's the jackass in this scenario is what I want to know.
Well, there's musical instruments in the building, and you can play to the donkeys, and they don't care if you're good or bad. You know, the donkeys love it. And we also have a small bar and a refrigerator in there, so if Teresa and I are down there, we can serve you a beer or a mixed drink, and you can actually have a beer with your jackass friends.
So this boys and girls at home, this is what happens. Would you say 45 years of racing with nitro fuel? This is what happens.
That affects you after a while.
Hey,
One
you
thing
guys
I'd like to
earlier
say about
meant
Cannonball.
Oh, go ahead.
Pardon me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
one thing I'd like to say about the safety of Cannonball this year concerning the coronavirus. I'm going to make sure that everyone is very safe this year because I'll be wearing this on occasion.
Oh my God. Oh my
Now,
God.
this is my anti-coronavirus helmet. It's
Michael, if you don't get a photo of that on the road, don't ever shoot another photo.
You got to understand that the cockroach, you know, it's probably going to take over the world because you can cut a cockroach's head off and it still lives, you know. So I've made this helmet.
Therese, are you going to wear that?
Different strains of cockroach DNA. But anyway,
that's flipping epic.
there's a huge
Kirsten,
safety
do you have
factor
one?
whenever this thing is around that the coronavirus just disappears.
Kirsten, do you have one? Therese, do you all have helmets, matching helmets?
I do not.
No.
It emanates off of all of these to everyone else, you see. So
It's
anywhere in the
that
perimeter,
virus is really catching.
Yeah, that's fine by me. That's fine by me.
I feel much safer knowing that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
You guys
Through this
mentioned
coronavirus,
that.
epidemic, and I was actually out serving curbside at the Timeline Saloon and Barbecue, we call it. I was doing curbside pickup and delivery here with this helmet on, so people would feel extra safe. Anyway, so
I would be
gotta have
safer
one of
on that
those.
thing.
What happened to Michael? There.
We lost Michael's audio here.
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. I think that's a great glimpse into Doc's wit and humor, but I think the bike behind him, the Timeline bike, is also a bit of that. I'd love to hear a little bit more of that story. I'd love to know if we'll ever see that come into Sturgis.
I've actually had it to Sturgis twice. It's been down the Sturgis drag strip. If you go to YouTube and type in Timeline motorcycle, you can watch a 4-minute video of it on its way to Sturgis with 10 people on. And then it ends up with the video going down the Sturgis drag strip with 10 people at all 7 engines running.
Did you ever have that on Main Street?
It was just a block off Main Street at the Harley, Black Hills Harley over there. We had it on display there one year.
I'd still love to see it ride down the block, but that's absolutely
we should get
amazing
it to
machine.
Sturgis again.
So what's the story behind that? What's the story behind that
whole
bike?
thing started, I built this bike in 09. And actually in 08, I built another bike that had 4 flathead 45 cubic inch motors on. We call that one the 45. It seats 5 people. It has 4 engines and seats 5 people. So we call it the 45 because it's got 4 45 cubic inch engines in it. And they all run and they all are timed together and they all kickstart together. You kickstart all 4 engines at once with one kickstarter. But that motorcycle in 08, I built in 17 days. And the reason I built it in 17 days was to get it to the Harley 105th anniversary in August of 08 and run it through the parade. And we did so. It made it through the parade, the 45. So then the following year, I decided, okay, I got to do something with big twin motors. And it kind of dawned on me that there's really 7 major heavy hitter engines from the very first V-twin in 09 to the twin cam of today. So I went ahead and got all of these 7 engines, built them all and built the whole motorcycle. This one I spent 7 months building, but it has 2 front forks and 2 rear wheels so that you can bear the weight, because the motorcycle weighs about 3,000 pounds and 10 passengers is about another 2,000 pounds. So you're trying to balance 5,000 pounds, kind of like balancing a 65 Chevy. But if you look near the back, there's 2 12-ply aircraft wheels in the back that come off of some huge roll bar looking things there, and I put in huge 1-inch Harley wheel bearings and made some special billet rims so they'd be extra strong. But the bike essentially tips on one side or the other, and when you're stopped, and when you get going, everybody just keeps their feet on the foot pegs, and you get going. Now with 10 people on there, that bike takes me between 35 and 38 miles per hour to be able to feel the gyro in the motorcycle and keep it balanced and keep it up off the wheels on each side by about 2 inches. And that's how it goes down the road. And, on the way to Sturgis, we averaged 50, 55 miles an hour. I did have the bike to 70 at one point during testing, and I took my hands and put them up in the air, and everybody said, "No, look." But anyway,
so it's a real
engines
canyon
run. You
carver.
See, it's not just 7 random motors. It shows the rolling history of all the air-cooled big twins from 1909, when they came out with the first V-twin, to present. So it starts out with the old F-head in the front, and then flathead, knucklehead, panhead, shovelhead, evolution, twin cam. They all run. They all power the bike. They're all chained together. They're all timed the same. They all sing the same song at the same time.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
been to several places around the United States, to different shows, Boston,
Very
and
cool.
Indianapolis, and Cleveland, and it's been to Harley Museum 4 different times. They've taken it down there. They like to see it because it shows the rolling history of all their air-cooled big twin motors.
Right.
So,
This says a lot about some of you Harley dealers. I mean, you and then what Dale Wachsler built before he moved down to Maggie Valley, and he had his Harley shop and museum. So it definitely attracts a certain kind of person to be a Harley dealer, I think.
yes, it does. Dale's a wonderful guy.
So these guys, Doc, you brought something up earlier about you and Therese are engaged, you said?
Yes, we're going to be married August 21st. So Cannonball is going to be our honeymoon.
Ooh.
Wow.
Awesome.
Just
How about that, eh?
what a girl dreams of her whole life, I bet, right, Therese?
Right, from a girl that the last time I drove a motorcycle or on the back of a motorcycle, I was in high school, and I think it was a Kawasaki, to now being engaged to Doc of Harley Davidson. So you never know, right?
Right. Well, you're not going to one exotic location. You're going to hit a whole bunch of them.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah.
This will be a great experience.
What a memory it's going to build.
I believe so. I'm very excited.
So where are you guys at now for 2020? Are you guys done working on bikes? Did you do anything from last year? Just put gas and oil in it, or what's happening?
Well, I've actually taken both of the engines apart on both the Cannonball bikes, Kersten and mine, the 16, and just refreshed them and checked a few things, and made a couple little upgrades of tricks and things that I've learned over the years here. So hopefully it just gets better and better. I'm also just about completed with the 1924 that I've been working on, collecting parts since 1914, in the hopes that Kirsten's husband Shannon gets Kirsten's husband Shannon gets a number for Cannonball. and he will drive the 1924 if he gets in, if that's a possibility by the time Cannonball gets here. So
Yeah.
Where
So
is Shannon?
Is Shannon
Is
there
Shannon
tonight?
there? Is Shannon there with you?
He's babysitting for the kids.
She's got him working.
He's not
We
in
have a
the.
9-year-old.
He's not in the building.
Somebody's got to work.
No, he's at home. We didn't think the kids could be quiet enough during the interview. They'd be like climbing all over. My 2-year-old was actually climbing. He climbed the left side of the bike and then climbed up onto the seat, climbed over the top and into the sidecar before the interview started. We had to eject them because they were getting a little unruly. So.
Yeah.
Jason, that's
Right.
kind of a shame. Kind of a shame Shannon's not there, huh?
It was, yeah, because we were actually sending an email out on Saturday to tell him that he had a spot, and we were going to surprise him online tonight.
But
I
he's probably watching right now.
Oh.
I guess he'll have to wait for his email on Saturday now.
Well, I can surprise him.
Oh my God.
Really? That'd be very cool.
Oh, that is so exciting.
So
we
Shannon, if you are watching, welcome aboard to the Motorcycle Cannonball. You are officially in. Is that right, Jason?
Absolutely.
Is this a record? Maybe the first family of 4 in the Cannonball? We had the Rinkers with 3.
Yeah, it is the first with 4.
Oh,
That's great.
Very cool. Well, that's exciting. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have some questions that I just noticed that social media. Mike Podger wants to know, Doc, do you ever sleep?
Well, yes, actually I do. Yes. Over the.
You know what? Can we get a picture of you at some point sleeping? Because all I ever see you do is working.
Over the winter, I built a thing I call Puff, the Magic Rock Dragon. It's a 5,000-pound granite boulder that I wrapped with 3-inch strap iron, mounted big trailer hitch balls on it, and then mounted that on a big steel gimbal. And then I mounted a dragon's head and a dragon's tail and dragon's wings on it. It's 25 feet long and 15 feet high. And you can go and sit on top of this boulder and put your feet on foot pegs and rock the whole 5,000-pound boulder. And I call it Puff the Magic Rock Dragon.
Okay, I got a party with this guy.
Now wait a second, Doc.
I'm not kidding. I'm on my way to your place.
So it sits out in the yard out here, and then when I was building the 24 this winter, I ran short on parts for about a week, so I built another thing. It's a great big bells/chimes thing. It's a really heavy iron base, approximately 6 feet long and 7
Everything's
feet high.
heavy.
And yeah, very, very heavy iron. But I took old welding tanks, acetylene tanks, and I cut the bottoms off of different lengths, and I hung them on this big, huge bracket. And then I had antique brass bar rail, and I made a chime with 5 brass bar rails hanging down. And then I had a Deeming water pump, an old antique Deeming water pump, and I mounted that on there. It has an electric motor which goes round and round and up and down, and that rings all of these chimes. So this is out in the parking lot in the courtyard of the Harley shop as well, and it's an interactive thing where it says "Try Me" on it, and there's a switch. You can throw the switch on, and it will begin making the bells toll and the chimes chime all automatically with a brass.
Now, Doc,
Doc,
you have a Facebook page, right, where people can see some of this stuff. I recall seeing
Yes,
it.
yes,
So
that's right.
maybe you can direct some people where to find the dealership and find you online.
Well, if you just go to docshd.com.
That's our website.
Yeah.
And then we have our dealership Facebook page, which would be Doc's Harley Davidson of Shawano County. And then our Cannonball journey, we actually have a Facebook page for that. It's called Doc's Motorcycle Cannonball Journey. And we've actually got data from the 2016 and the 2018, and we'll be making regular posts for the 2020 as well.
I'm a big fan
there's
of what
plenty.
you guys do on social media. I love tuning in on Saturday mornings, watching you guys feed the live gators.
Yeah, on the dealership site. Yeah, through the dealership, we have a separate page for the zoo as well. So Doc's Zoo is another page that you can check out.
We seldom have a dull moment around here. Just before the interview, I did brush my teeth with gunpowder so I could shoot my mouth off.
Chris, hit a button. I think Doc's teeth just went off.
One last question here for Doc, or maybe Jason. When will the Cannonball possibly go through Wisconsin and visit Doc's place? Because I think everybody would love to see this.
Shoot, if Michigan doesn't open up right now, we may have to start from Doc's this year.
There you go.
Well, maybe we're going to have to stop in there, I think.
Right.
You got plenty of room, right, Doc?
Absolutely. We have 72 acres here.
Is Jason going to get the lighthouse?
Yes.
We'll roll out the
I think
barrel
if
and hire a polka band.
Sounds like a great place for a rest day, going coast to coast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have customers from around the world stopping in here all the time, and a lot of them spend the whole day here.
Yeah, I know it's talked about as one of the biggest destinations in the Midwest just for even Harley dealers, but not even just being a Harley dealership, just to take in the sights and everything that happens there and the craziness and, getting you to watch, the different contraptions that you're building at the time and, taking stuff out and blowing stuff up. And
Right.
I'd like to come photograph it, but I'm afraid it's going to take more than a rest day. I think it'll take a few days of hanging out to get there.
Well, we've got a lighthouse for you to stay in that you would absolutely love.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd love to. I'll put it on the calendar. Thank you.
So I see Shannon just found out that he's in, and he said, "Wow, that's awesome! I got a number." So Shannon, welcome aboard. He just typed in on social media.
What a great surprise!
So
Yeah, he's super excited.
There's nobody that's
so that's great, and we'll have to bring.
Um,
Well, we'll have to bring Shannon. We'll have to bring Shannon on and see what his anticipated feelings are and emotions are about participating in the Cannonball as a rider.
So since he's
at a
a new
future
guy,
date, we'll bring him.
Since he's a new guy, does he get to ride behind Doc's loud machine or what?
Yeah, I'll give him earplugs. Yeah.
Part of the hazing process, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out tonight. It was what a blast. We had Jody and Dave and Doc's team. I mean, I don't know how we're going to top this. Quite frankly, maybe we should just stop right here. What do you think?
I think there's some
Now we'll go
lined
on.
up for the coming weeks too.
We got some really
We'll go
good guests
on.
coming up.
Well, it's our family, it's the motorcycle Cannonball family. So it's just like visiting with a relative you haven't seen in a while. And these days, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's been fun. It's been really fun catching up with everybody, watching everybody's social medias. We're trying to repost a lot of that stuff out there just to show what the riders are up to. Really fun. I mean, this is a really crucial time these guys are starting machines and just kind of putting the last little bits and pieces and touches into them. And, just really fun to see. I mean, it gets me going. I love getting up and, seeing what popped up overnight and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I can't sleep because I want to go back and see what's new and what people are up to. And so,
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
That's awesome.
Chris Summer Simmons is asking for a preview of next week. Do we have any advanced info to pass along about Insider? What's going on?
Well, I think we have another single rider coming on next week who is an experienced cannonballer. And
I think we should just keep it at that, Rob. I think, if they want to know, they have to tune in.
Yes.
Absolutely. 9 o'clock thereabouts, Chris. 9 o'clock thereabouts Wednesday nights, Motorcycle Cannonball and the Cannonball Chronicles. I feel like it's getting better each week. I hope so. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're having fun, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
So
Us too.
cool.
Thank you.
Michael, thanks for sticking around. It was great having Michael and Doc and Kersten and Therese. Thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. We're going to have you back at some time, I hope, soon. And Jason, you have any other parting words?
Let you take it away, Robbie. Get us out of here.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you all for tuning in. We want to see you next week, right here, same time, same place. Hopefully we'll be here at 9 o'clock. If we're not, please be patient with us. This is new technology, but we really enjoy the fact that you guys are enjoying this show. Let us know. You can watch it on YouTube in reruns if you want, on Motorcycle Cannonball sites, Cycle Source. You know what? You can watch it everywhere. Just type in Motorcycle Cannonball Chronicles on Safari or on Google, and you'll find us. So with that, let's pull this train out of the station. Chris, Missy, thanks. Heather, and everybody else involved. Shadow, you did a great job for us this week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.